Good morning to one and all. I'm Mr. Sharan Raj from CAC 20BQ144731. Today my seminar topic is demand and types of demand. Let's get the topic. That's the context is what is demand and the types of demand. What is demand? Demand refers to the quantity of a goods or services that consumers are willing and able to purchase at various prices during a period of long time. That means a product or service is said to have a demand in three conditions are satisfied. The three conditions are desire to acquire it, second one is ability to pay the specific price for it, third one is willingness to pay for it. Totally, the demand, that means the demand is equal to the desire to acquire plus willingness to pay plus ability to pay. This is all known as demand. Let's get into the types of demand. The demand is generally classified on the basis of various factors, such as the first one is nature of product, second one is usage of product, third one is number of consumers of a product, and last and supplies of a product. The different types of demands are as follows. Individual and market demand. The quantity of a commodity which an individual is willing to buy at a particular price of the commodity during a specific time period, giving his money and income, his taste and price for other commodities is all known as individual demand. The total quantity which all the consumers of the commodity are willing to buy at a given price per unit, given their money, income, taste, and price of the other commodities is known as market demand. This is the difference between individual and market demand. And second one, demand for film product and industry product. The demand for the product of a film at a given price over a time period is known as demand for the film product. The aggregate of a demand for the product of all film of a particular industry is known as market demand for industry product. This is the demand for film product and industry product. Third one, autonomous demand and derived demand. Autonomous demand refers to the demand for a products and services directly. The demand for the product arises out of the purchase of a parent product is known as derived demand. The demand for the service of a super specialty hospital can be considered as autonomous demand, whereas the other for hotels around the hospitals is called derived demand. Here, derived demand depends on autonomous demand. The fourth, demand for durable or non-durable goods. Durable goods are those goods which are given service relative for a long period. These goods which will meet the current needs such as clothes, shoes, shoes, old furniture, etc. Non-durable goods are those goods which can be used or consumed only once, and their total utility is exhausted in single use, such as cement, coal, fuel, etc., and milk, vegetables, or etc. Fifth type, short-term and long-term demand. Short-term demand, name on its name only, there is a short. That means short-term demand refers to the demand for such goods or demand over a short period, such as goods for seasonal uses. That means umbrellas, raincoats, sweaters, etc. Long-term. Here in the name long, that means it is long-term period. Here, the long-term demand refers to the demand which exits over a long period. Example, groceries. Here the sixth type is joint and composite. In the name there is joint, that means you have combination of both products into a single product, where two or more goods are jointly demand at the same time to satisfy a single want. It is called a joint or complementary demand. Example, car and petrol. If you buy a car, you have to buy compulsory petrol to run it. The demand for commodities that have several alternative uses is known as composite demand. That means one product can use several types in several ways. Example, coal is a demand by railways, factories, households, etc. The seventh type, direct demand and indirect demand. The demand for a goods that are directly used for a consumption by the ultimate consumer is known as direct demand. Example, bread, tea, ready-made, shirts, scooters, etc. The demand for goods is not used by consumer directly. They are used by producers for producing the other goods. So indirect demand also known as producer goods demand. That means it is a name indirect. Here, direct these goods are not used directly by the consumers, just used by the producers for producing other product. So that's why it is called indirect demand. Direct means directly used by the consumers. For examples of indirect demand is plant, machineries, tools, etc. The lowest type of the demand, finally, market segment demand and total market segment demand. Market segment demand refers to the demand for the product in that specific market segment. The total market demand will aggregate demand for the product from all segments. This is known as market segment demand and total market segment demand. Thank you for giving this opportunity.